Hey guys, Chris here, and I'm a Ukrainian Canadian. Today is November 22nd, 2023. And let's get to the news happening in Ukraine, shall we? So today there's a very interesting post by the Ukrainian intelligence, which is showcasing a footage of the Crimean bridge, and they call this structure unnecessary. And so now it's obviously implying that they're planning a future strike. So I'm expecting a very big surprise in the next few weeks. And I think that this falls directly in line with the success that the Ukrainian forces are currently seeing in the left bank of the Dnieper River in Kherson. And if the Ukrainians are able to do combined attack, essentially destroying this bridge and push out the Russians further and further away from the left bank, this will really correlate together and allow the Ukrainians to push out the Russians further, destroying their logistics because the Russians, especially in Kherson, have been almost exclusively reliant on this land, this bridge that they have between Russia and Crimea to be able to resupply its forces with medical supplies, with food, more troops, more vehicles. And so the Ukrainians, once the Ukrainians, I should say, destroy this bridge, this is seriously going to degrade their capabilities in defending this entire area in the south. And it's going to freeze them out as well, partially. That is not to say that the Russians don't have any alternative routes. They still have a route that they can still utilize between Rostov, moving into Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. But this is a much longer road and a more dangerous one because of the proximity of the frontline battles right now in Zaporizhia. So the Russians are definitely preferring moving their logistics from the bridge into Kherson rather than using Rostov, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia to move their supplies into the left bank of the Kherson area. So I see this as excellent news, and it shows that the Ukrainians are very dedicated, and they will definitely attempt another strike at this bridge. Now, in the past, the Ukrainians have managed to damage this bridge twice effectively, and if history has taught us anything, is that the Ukrainians can control this peninsula at will in terms of their strikes. The Russians have, even if they have moved a lot of air defense systems on the Crimean Peninsula, that have not been effective at stopping the Ukrainian strikes on military targets. And, in the last few weeks, remember what happened in the shipyard close to Kerch? The Ukrainians managed to destroy one of the most modern Russian ships that was to be almost completed in the Zaliv shipyard. So again, it showcases that the Russians simply do not have any capacity to defend Crimea and Kherson. And by destroying this bridge, this is seriously going to degrade the logistics and freeze the Russian soldiers in Kherson further during the winter. So let's hope for a Christmas surprise. Another update is for Avdiivka. There's more and more reports today basically indicating that the Russians are being forced to scale down their attacks in Avdiivka. Obviously, we know why, because of the catastrophic losses that they have incurred in the last 6 weeks. We've already talked about this many times. And essentially, there's less troops that are being committed in their attacks and less vehicles. And evidently, this is in regards to the fact that winter is finally here. So there's a lot of muddy terrain. There's a lot of also snow in certain directions, and this kind of freezing and thaw cycle is definitely impacting both sides in terms of moving very heavy armored vehicles. So this is excellent news for the Ukrainian defenders in Avdiivka, who have really held off this massive Russian offensive in the last 6 weeks. And I think that evidently the Russians are definitely not going to stop their attacks. They're still going to continue trying to encircle Avdiivka, but they have less capabilities compared to early October, when they launched this huge offensive with hundreds of vehicles and thousands of troops. So this is excellent news. And some of these attacks are now being moved into Marinka. So the Russians have launched new attacks around the area of Marinka, which is south of Donetsk. So I think that some of these troops that were committed around Avdiivka are now being moved to Marinka, as the Russians are attempting different types of offensives around the area of Donetsk. So these are the map updates for today. Let's go back into the main slides, because there's two big announcements as well from Germany and Bulgaria. First, Germany is providing another great military assistance package to Ukraine. So essentially, Germany will provide 20 BMP mortars. As you can see, these small little APCs. They will also give one demining machine, 2 tank tractors, 2 semi-trailers, 5 Bronco medical all-terrain vehicles, 2 armored ambulances, 9 border guard vehicles, close to 2,400 155 millimeter shells, which I think this will be used very quickly, so it's not really that much, but still better than nothing, and close to 2,500 field phones with encryption. So the most important aid in this package is evidently the Martyrs, which have been excellent vehicles, and anything that Germany builds, including the Leopards, the Panzerhaubitze 2000s, IRIS-T systems, have been extremely effective against the Russian occupiers. So this is excellent news, and a huge thank you to Germany for their support of Ukraine. Additionally, Bulgaria is also confirming that they will transfer 100 armored personnel carriers to Ukraine, and most likely that these will be the Soviet legacy BTRs. So whether it be BTR 70 or 80, it's still unclear which one it will be, or maybe both, but most likely these will be the BTRs. And again, this is better than nothing because many of these Ukraine units that are fighting on the front line are utilizing right now unprotected small pickup trucks, such as the Nissan Frontier or some other really small mid-sized pickup truck that has absolutely no protection. So a lot of these Ukrainian soldiers can definitely utilize these, Soviet BTRs to move and transport troops to the front line effectively with some level of protection. And lastly, I wanted to cover the basically event that occurred in between the Canadian and the U.S. border today, close to Niagara Falls. So there's now basically this article confirms that there's 2 dead people after an explosion occurred at the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls, which is basically connecting New York and Ontario. So this is very concerning because this could very well be a terrorist attack. Again, the details are still not 100% clear if it was a terrorist attack. But based on some of the reports, they're saying that this was a vehicle that was traveling very fast before it exploded, would indicate that this is more of a terrorist attack rather than an accident. So this is a very serious situation right now. And this hasn't been seen and since 9/11, right? So let's hope that this can be resolved very quickly, and I'll keep you guys updated as to what essentially happened here. But the details are still very foggy right now, so I'm not trying to jump into any conclusions. But this is something I haven't heard happen ever in Canada between the Canadian-U.S. border. So this is a very big development. So that's the video for today, guys. Let me know what you think about any of the topics I covered today. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and Slava Ukraini!